I've been thinking about this a lot. I think as guys, right? Like as men, I do think that we're like too confident in our ability. That's the end of the sentence. That's there's just like as human dudes, there's no other species of male in anything. You could be a gazelle. A male, like gazelle. Do they make male gazelle? Anyway, you could be a male gazelle. There's no random day where you're gonna look at a lion and be like, he looked like he want to fight. Like this shit. Do you know what I mean? You know how every other male sees like an order to the world and functions in it? We're the only ones. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're the only ones. Maybe a female gazelle might fight a lion, and that's if the lion's already attacking her child. You know, she might step up, and even then, it's like 30%. So like, there's just some order to nature. I was hanging out with a friend. Turns to me, unprovoked. I had said nothing, and he goes, "You think you could fight a bear?" And I was like, what? No. It's the simplest, it's the quickest no. No. It's a bear. You didn't ask me about a cub. In the scenario you given me, a bear wants to fight me. And I'm gonna fight the bear and win? Like, no. And I asked him, I was like, do you think you could fight a bear? And he was like, well, if I came at it right. I'm like, don't even finish the sentence. If I came at it right. What are you saying right now? If I came at it right. That's the great, according to experts, the only way to come at it is to pretend to already be dead. What do you mean if the bear came at you like a bear, you would die. I would bet money on it. That's crazy. And then he got irate with me. He got all defensive, started attacking me. He was like, so you would just let a bear kill you? I'm like, what are we talking about? What do you mean, let a bear? It's a bear. You picked a bear. You didn't even pick something I might have a chance against, like a stray cat. You went straight to bear. Do you think you could fight a bear? Oh, you just gonna let a bear kill you? Look, if I went home, if this is how confident I am a bear would kill me, I don't go where bears are. You don't catch me anywhere out in the world where the bears will be. In fact, if there was a bear when I went home in my apartment, that's a bear's apartment now. And I'm good with that. I'm willing to let that bear have my couch. That's fine. Everything in the fridge is his now. Crazy. Crazy talk. And look, I'm not acting like there isn't a place I could step up. When it comes to bugs, I could be braver. I will say that. When it comes to bugs, I could step up a little bit. Because if a bug is too big, I will take a step back. Just to try to assess what it is. Because sometimes, like, I don't have the best eyes, but sometimes you see like 9 legs or something, you're like, what is that? Before I step on it, what is this? Is it an alien? You know? I remember there was one day, I had a fly in my apartment, and it was the plague of my life. I didn't know how the fly got in my apartment, and it had the loudest wings. It might as well have been bird wings. It was the loudest fly I've ever heard, and it would get like right next to my ear, which was making me flinch. Like it did kind of punk me in a little, because I had the fly swatter ready, and it would be in the ear that was like the flies. So that I would be looking for it, like, and I'd be like, oh. And it was all day. It was all day I was trying to kill it. All, like top to bottom all day. And then it was so gross because then I was like hitting myself with the fly swatter because I was like at some point if I swing back I might catch it, and then it was hitting my ear. So I was beating myself. And then I finally was like, let me just go take a shower, cool off, because I had to go somewhere that night. So I get in the shower, take a shower. I don't know when the fly came in the bathroom. I don't know if it came in through a vent or through the door with me, but then the fly came at me while I was in the shower. Now this is attempted murder, because I am on wet porcelain. I cannot mess around right now. If I fall in this shower and I die, and my killer is a fly, and I die like a bad Dr. Seuss. Anyway, I finished my shower. I, swatting them off, everything still, and then I open the curtain. It's right there. I'm exhausted. I'm naked. I'm wet. I grab my towel, and I like spin my towel, get it really tight, right? I don't even care if you believe me. It's one of the proudest days of my life. I spun my towel as hard as I could, and then I popped it at the fly, and right at the end, right at the tip, it popped the fly and killed it. And I'm not gonna lie to you. In that moment, I was like, I think I could fight a bear. Like, I think I was I do. I'm just saying, if I had a towel, I have a chance. Okay, look, when I say it, it's not gonna sound true. But believe me, all right? I really thought that when I saw Drake leaks trending, it was gonna be music. I was so sure that it was gonna be music. I was like, stuff leaks all the time. Let's listen to this album before it comes out. And I know a lot of people thought that. I'm not alone. A lot of other people said, they were like, you thought it'd be music too. I was like, yeah, I thought it'd be music. And in case you don't know who Drake is, I don't know how, but in case you don't know who Drake is, he's a rapper. And in case you don't know about the Drake leak, okay. So Drake leak was trending, and then I clicked it, and you just see a lot of Drake. It's a lot of Drake. It's a lot of Drake. It's more Drake than I thought there was Drake. You know what I mean? And I want to be clear about something, okay? Because I know it's weird, but a bad thing happened. Someone's nudes were leaked, and that should never happen. It should truly never happen. Everyone deserves autonomy for their body. I know he's like a rich man, so it's easier to like let it slide, and it's different. It feels different, at least, when it's like a woman's nudes. But still, he didn't want that out there, and it's out there, which is a shame. You know? So I felt very conflicted, because I was like, that's a shame that somebody would do that. You know? And then on the other hand, I was like, all right, but like, no more sad songs. Like, I don't... You know what I mean? Like, if I had a friend that was built like Drake, I would never let him cry to me. About anything. I'm not gonna lie. It would always be burned in my brain. I'd be like, hey, everybody daddy dies sometimes, okay? Cheer up and look down. I read this report that they want to NASA's trying to make contact, with some intelligent life, and we really tried everything. We tried so many different things, and we haven't just spent billions of dollars. If you count every country that's had success leaving the atmosphere, going into space, we spent trillions of dollars as a people. It's an endeavor that's been as old as the ages to like make contact and make sure, or at least find out that we're not alone in the entire universe, right? So they send out signals. They've used radio waves. They've used light, images, everything that they can think of. Every like telescopic endeavor's been tried. And so now NASA, I'm not even kidding, you can look this up. NASA's like, we gon' send nudes. We're gonna send nudes out because that might do it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a big deal. We have not tried that yet. We've been out here sending old 1920s radio wave. I don't know, my baby. Like, we've tried all that stuff, and it didn't do anything. So let's send nudes and see. Wouldn't it be wild if it worked, though? Wouldn't it be crazy if, like, a month later, aliens landed and they were like, titties is all you had to say? I mean, if we had known that there were titties, that we would have come. It feels, you know what I mean? Like, just say you're out of ideas. Smartest minds in the world. Smartest ones on the planet. And they're like, maybe this feels weird. And I know what I said before, and I meant that. But since they're already out, maybe send the Drake, maybe, I don't know. And look, not out of context. Send a copy of Take Care. And send the Drake video and just see what the aliens think. They might come. They might be like... I also read a report that says that Viagra may lower the risk of Alzheimer's, which is kind of bad news when you think about it. Like, is that really what the world needs? Just a bunch of old men, hard and aware? I thought that as men, we had a pact with the earth. We would wreak havoc for the first, 50 years of our lives, and then after a while, we'd slow down, we'd get confused, and we would not be hard anymore. That's how you restore balance to the planet. Imagine an evil dude. Because we do this all the time. Being old is supposed to be the saving grace of your life. Especially as a man. As a man, love is very conditional from the world, right? You're born a baby. We all love babies. You become a kid. A lot of people love kids. Then you're a man. And then everyone's like, it's your fault, right? Even if you don't have power, you look like the ones that do. And so it's like, I'll just lump you in, right? Then you get old, and then you getting old is the we can love you again. It's true. You get old, and then people are like, what's he gonna do? We've seen it. We've seen horrible, evil men get old, and somehow all is forgiven. We've watched literal war criminals turn 99, and it's like, well, he's not doing anything now. He's a fucking war criminal. He don't remember, though. What is that? Why does that get him a pass? He doesn't remember. Now you're just feeding them Viagra so they can be evil longer. Literally. We have to stop this. This is crazy.
I was learning to swim. I was in the beginner class, but there was like an advanced beginner that I should have been doing in this swim lesson. But because I didn't say anything, have I told you about this before? Because I didn't say anything,
I was just chuckling at. I was chuckling at advanced beginner.
Oh,
so like that's
well, no, literally,
this is full ass oxymoron.
This is what happened. This is what's so annoying.
Yeah.
So there was just swimming lessons that my mom took me to, and I had some swimming lessons years ago, but hadn't been in a pool since, and so I was a beginner still in my mind because I was like, hey, if I'm still this nervous to get in the water, I'm not an advanced swimmer, you know? And so then I get in the water, and at first the teacher's like going over the rules in the pool and everything, just like watch out for each other, don't kick each other, like no, dunking each other, like just everyone was getting this lesson. Then she was like, okay, the kids who can swim this much come with me. The kids who like can't swim at all go over there. And so in my mind, I'm a kid who can't swim at all, And so I go over to the other direction. And then when I get over there, it's just a bunch of tiny kids. So it's me, this like 14-year-old, and then all of these like itty bitty babies getting swim lessons. Now be honest though,
how much bigger were you than them really?
They were like 4.
Oh, okay.
They were like 4 and 5. And I'm like 14.
Right.
And so the lesson starts and they're like, we're just going to blow bubbles under the water. And in my head, I'm like, I've done all this. Like, what is this? This doesn't make any sense. And the other kids were like doing like half laps on the other side of the pool, but we're like going under the water just a little bit and blowing bubbles. And like, it felt like I was in a Lamaze class and I was the baby. Like it was so embarrassing. And I didn't have the wherewithal to quit the lesson or to leave the teacher. Because the teacher is the teacher's acting like I need to be over there. And then we do the whole lesson. And then there's this one kid who I guess is I'm definitely the odd kid out. I'm the only one over here as old as I am. And this one kid who shouldn't be over here either because he's like 5 or so, but he's like swimming in place. And so I'm like, who's going to get this kid? This is insane, right? Like, this kid's like a little mermaid. And then he looks at me as I'm like doing whatever little kick exercise we're supposed to be doing. Because how they have you, when you're getting a swim lesson, they'll also have you grab the edge of the pool and do some kicks and stuff, like to learn how to push yourself and everything. And I'm pushing, and this other kid next to me, the little like 5-year-old kid, is also pushing. And he just looks at me and he goes, "So what's wrong with you?" And from that moment, I was like, okay, I have an enemy. Like I have a mortal enemy. I don't want anything good for this kid.
I'm about to be an advanced murderer.
Because I was like,
wow.
What? And then he repeated it. He was like, "What's wrong with you?"
What's wrong with you?
And I was like,
so what's wrong with you?
I was like, what? And I'm like, what do you mean? And this is as I'm kicking. And he's like, you're like a grown-up kid. I'm kicking next to him like, there's no grown-up kid. Like, if you're a kid, you're a kid.
Hey, now if they're going to be advanced beginners, I think there can be grown-up kids.
Yeah, right. And And so,
Sorry, I'm just having fun with all the oxymorons today.
so then he's like, why aren't you over there? And I was like, because I can't swim like they can. Like this little kid doesn't understand the concept of like, I just don't know as much as they know. I know more than the class. Like I should have been in middle beginner because the marquee, like the thing that you buy when you go to this swim lesson says beginner.
Right.
So
For sure,
already
for sure.
them breaking up the class was kind of wild, you know? So then I'm going to what I think is a beginner class. Now they didn't fully explain what that meant, but I projected my own stuff onto it because in my head I was like, okay, they're going to take the little bit that I know how to swim and make me able to fully swim. And I won't be able to swim in deep water, but I'll be able to swim the length of the pool without needing to put my foot down to get air. And you know what I mean? Like that thing.
Yeah. The basic goal of all swimming lessons is to get good enough to just not drown should you find yourself in water.
Yeah.
No matter what, that's the the base level is if I find myself in water, I want to be able to not die.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
And so then I'm like kicking next to this kid, and this kid is talking to me, and he clearly gets bored while he's asking me all these questions. So he stops grabbing the edge of the pool and just lets it go, flips over, and is now on his back, sort of like kicking up. Like, so he's just floating on his back and still moving his legs a little bit, but he's just sort of like moving in place. And I'm watching, I'm like, why are you over here?
Moving in place.
Like, this dude is like, he's like swimming like he was born in the water.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was a water birth.
Maybe it was a water birth.
Maybe they come out with a little extra skill.
And so then I asked the kid, because I get a little attitude with the kid because he just keeps asking me why I'm over there. You're like a grown up kid, blah blah blah. I was like, hey, there's no grown up kids, it's just kids. And then finally I was like, why aren't you over there? And then this kid goes, oh, I don't know. And then he goes under the water and goes and swims over with the bigger kids.
Wow. You reminded him that he was a great swimmer.
Yeah.
He in the moment was like, oh, you're right, I'm very good at this. Whee! Here I go. He shoots out of the water like a dolphin.
And he didn't go under the water like, oh, let me get my bearings and then go swim. This kid went backwards like he was in a swim competition. Like he just doubled over in the water and flipped and then started swimming. Like he was a dolphin. I hated this kid so much. And so then the lesson ends. And I can't remember if my mom took me there or my aunt took me there. But whoever took me there, I get out of the pool and I'm like, why did they have me with the little kids? Like I knew how to swim more than that. And then she was like, I don't know. I was waiting for you to say something. Like, because they stayed for the lesson. So I can't remember who it was, but they saw the whole thing. It was either my mom or my aunt that took me. But this is like so long ago, I don't remember. But she was like, yeah, I was waiting for you to say something. I was like, when's he going to get tired of this? And then, so then where the pool was like a snow cone cart. So there's a snow cone cart off a little bit ways at that, like near that pool. You still have to walk to it. Okay. And that kid, that 5-year-old, I'm leaving the pool, and he's already swam and then run over and got a snow cone and come back, and he said something like snide to me. I can't remember what it was. And it was so mean that it didn't seem like he was 5. It seemed like only an older kid could have thought of something so mean. But he was.
You got bullied by a kid 10 years younger than you.
But it's not bullying because I was not like.
You kind of sort of got bullied by a 5-year-old in this story.
Just because he was being mean to me doesn't mean I was bullied. By that logic, I've been bullied by a lot of babies. All right? I've picked up a baby before and just immediately started crying, which didn't feel nice.
Criming? What'd you say?
I thought I said crying. What did I say?
I think you said cramming. That's what it sounded like to me.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, but he made fun of you, so what's wrong with you? And then he got you again at the snow cone cart.
Yeah,
and you seem still not happy about it. So to me, that's what makes it, puts it in the realm of getting bullied.
Nah.
I bet he's huge now too.
And so I'm walking away, and a kid said something about like, what was it? It was like really messed up. It was to the point where I was like, "Oh, you're not 5." He said, "Oh yeah, don't forget your floaties next time," or something. He said something like that was like in that vein of like, "Are you gonna bring a noodle next time?" or like, whatever the thing was, right? And so this kid,
dog, you got bullied. I don't know how to tell you.
Look, fine,
a 5-year-old definitely bullied you. You got big dogged by a 5-year-old.
Fine, whatever. This kid's like, yeah, don't forget your floaty next time. And as he goes,
he lunged at you and you flinched.
No, that's not what happened. And so then, as he said that, he went to take a lick from his snow cone, and the snow cone was such an ice ball that it all just fully moved with his tongue off of the cup and fell on the ground. And I remember I just laughed at it because he was so shocked. He didn't know that could happen. Little man hadn't been around the block a couple times, didn't know how to eat a snow cone like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's good with the liquid water, but what about the frozen water? Little punk. All right. I'm glad gravity told him what time it was. And so anyway, he licked the snow cone. It fell off.
He's such a fucking idiot.
Me? What did I do?
No.
In this story, I didn't do anything.
No, but I love you because you talked about like swift comeuppance, but it took so long for him to get comeuppance.
What do you mean so
it
long?
Really...
What do you mean so long? He said the thing, and then he took a lick, and then his afternoon was ruined.
That was the second thing, though. He'd already bullied you earlier.
But it's swift comeuppance when you do a thing and then a thing happens. You're taking it as if it's the whole entirety of the situation.
You're also just acting like you won, which you still got bullied by a 5-year-old.
No, that kid was real upset. That kid's day was ruined. I didn't have to do anything to that kid. That kid licked the snow cone. It fell off the cup, and he was. That's where the 5-year-old kickback is. So he got like too big for his britches because he knew how to swim. But as soon as his snow cone splattered on the ground, he was a kid again, and he was all upset.
Oh God! Excuse me.
What?
I was coughing. So you're saying the snow cone put him in his place, is what you're trying to say?
100%.
You did nothing. You did nothing and just watched.
I didn't have to do anything.
As your tormentor.
What was I supposed to do?
At a slight inconvenience.
My tormentor. The slight inconvenience. Oh. Hey, this wasn't a neighborhood full of money. That was his only snow cone for the weekend.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. At least he got to feel like a big dog next to you.
Nah.
Even him out.
I was chilling.
Yeah, you sound real chill about it. I was chilling.
I was so happy.
Oh.
just splatted. He had a bunch of blue all over his legs like an idiot. He looked so stupid. It got on his swim trunks. I don't know. I just laughed at him.
It's also really hard for me to imagine the story just not as you now either. It's really hard. I'm not really imagining a 14-year-old Josh. I'm just imagining you just like ha 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 in this kid's face.
Hey, that kid deserved that. Oh man, that's so funny to me that he you could see on his face he got real upset. Like he didn't even the bully was gone at that point. Like you want to say he bullied me? Any sort of bullying nature just melted away, and then he was a kid who wanted to cry because his snow cone hit the ground. Oh man. I'm pretty sure it was the first lick too. That's what makes it even more hilarious.
That's
to me.
Embarrassing.
The fact that it's like he was about to enjoy a snow cone and then he went. Bruh.
That's the little kid equivalent of like losing your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's that first lick and then your thing falls. You're just kind of like, what do I do with my life now?
Milwaukee, make some noise for your headliner, Josh Johnson.
Been very excited. I've been very, very excited. Been highly anticipating a bout that's coming up. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Some of you may have not known that this was going to happen, but in case you didn't, Mike Tyson is going to box Jake Paul, and I'm excited more for the spectacle than the actual fight. I don't know what's going to happen in the fight exactly, but it is one of the wildest encounters of two people punching each other that you could have ever imagined. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, a star, a bona fide star globally of the 80s, fighting one of the most popular influencers that the modern era has to offer. And it just feels like somehow the 80s are fighting the 20s. Do you know what I mean? Like Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Feels like Sylvester Stallone versus Liam Hemsworth. It's like, you're just kind of like, what? How? How are they even close enough in age to have anything to argue about? This is crazy. If you don't know Mike Tyson, I know that some people are too young to have like really watched him fight. I'm too young to have like remembered those fights live. Some of them I wasn't even around for, but I watched the tape and it's devastating. Mike Tyson is one of the most bona fide terrifying people. You know what I mean? Some of the things that Mike Tyson would just say, I'd be like, oh, to even think it, you must be willing to do it. Do you know, like there was a press conference one time where Mike Tyson was sitting there and he's like, this thing, I don't think these guys understand. I'm not here to just box. I'm not here to fight or anything. I'm trying to take their health. Sir, the question was, what has your preparation been for this match? Mike Tyson he's like an embodiment of like everything like fierce, violent, and dangerous in one person that also very much loves birds. And what's wild about Mike Tyson is that from the time that he was young, right, to present, he had taken a genuine, not only interest, but maybe an obsession with the way that the world works, understanding oneself and understanding the world and how who you are applies to the world, right? So he said some of the most fascinating things around Alexander the Great, around conquerors, around kings, around how to win a mental battle as well as like a physical one, how war works. He has such an understanding of the world. And then he says other things. Other things that are so scary that you're like, sir, just shoot me. So I won't have to deal with this. You know? And a lot of it bleeds together because it's not my time. Right? I'm not like from that era, but you watch these old compilations of press conferences and interviews and post-fight interviews with Mike Tyson. I was scared for the reporter because you have a man who's been training to basically kill a man with his fists, even if it took him 12 rounds and it took half of one. So by the time you interview him, he's still got a lot of energy. There was one time they were trying to interview Mike Tyson after a fight. They're in the ring with him. They're putting the mic in his face and everything. And he's so amped and he's talking. He's like, y'all don't understand. Like I'm from Sonny Liston's cloth. I'm the most fierce. And he starts describing not just who he is as a boxer, but his training and everything. And then at the end of it, he goes, I don't know, man, what? And I think if I had been the reporter, I'd also be like, nothing, I didn't say anything, don't worry about me. Mike Tyson press conference was a master class in psychological warfare. He would say things that had you thinking like, oh man, this dude's like out of his mind. Or this dude really wants to kill me and I don't know him. That's gotta be tough as a fighter, to sign up for a fight. And you know we both fight. But one of us loves fighting. And we both like it, that's why we do it, and we're both good at it, that's why we do it. But one of us is so excited to hit, they don't care if they get hit. It's a very different person. Do you know what I mean? Even when you're mad, even when you're angry, and you're like, that's it, let's fight. You're trying to get the aggression out, and you want to hurt the other person. And yeah, maybe you're willing to take a few punches, but you aren't in a fight loving getting hit just so you can give a hit. It takes a different type of person, and Mike is a different type of person. You know? When you look at where Mike Tyson comes from, it's astounding that he made it to where he was. You know, Mike Tyson comes from Brooklyn, was in Bed-Stuy, and then at a young age moves to Bronzeville, and it is devastating because it's not the Brooklyn that you know now. You know what I mean? Like there were no cupcake shops. It was Brooklyn in a way that was, let's say the property would be cheap, all right? Like if you were trying to buy, all right? Devastating conditions. And he talks about how there was just, you couldn't even go to the bathroom inside sometimes where they were staying and stuff. And all that stuff can make a hardened person. Because he didn't just have to live in certain conditions. He had conditions waiting for him when he got outside. He talked about it. He had to fight He had to fight all the time. He had to be ready to be tough all the time. People will test you all the time, right? He talked about his first fight. It's like I said, Mike Tyson loves birds. It's truly one of the sweetest things about him. It's one of the things that like gives you a glimpse into the humanity of a person that's only known as being this fierce beast, right? Loving these birds, being gentle with them, caring for them, spending time with them, you know, really taking care of them. And when he was a kid, there was a kid who took his bird. And he was like, give it back, give it back, give it back. And give it back, I think give it back genuinely in the way that a kid is asking you earnestly from the bottom of their heart. No, please, 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 please give it back, right? And that kid killed that bird in front of him. And then Mike Tyson, I'm assuming, killed that kid because he at least let him remember what would happen. And Mike would get into trouble, and it's easy to say, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, right? All those things can be true. Obviously, you shouldn't be robbing people, you shouldn't be selling stuff, you shouldn't be out here with these people who are on a bad path and everything. But when you have what looks like no other option from those things, how can you expect someone to just know? You drive down the path that's been paved, you know? And so he ends up in like detention centers and stuff like that. And at one point, Mike Tyson meets Customato. And Customato sees him, and immediately he knows. He knows this kid is special and he's different. And not only just because he's built different, not only because he's big for his age, there's just something about him. And he gets the opportunity to like box a little bit. He goes to the gym, he's hitting bags and stuff, spars a little bit. And Customato sees in something in him. And after sparring, you know, as the story goes, they ask this kid who's just sparred with some grown men, how old are you? And then Mike goes, I'm 13. And then these grown men look at each other and go, this nigga at least 30. Like, there's no way. You better put a 0 behind that 13. That's, what? 13. And Customato, to my knowledge, actually adopts Mike Tyson, takes him into his home, right? Not just to train him, but to care for him, to love him, you know? Because all this energy, all this fierce potential can really go somewhere if you nurture it, right? And then under Customato's leadership, Mike Tyson does become as fierce of a person as Customato thinks he can be in the ring. And Cus believed in him before he believed in himself. I think that's why their friendship, that mentorship is like, when you see it, there's something special about it. Because anyone who sees anything in any of us and pulls it out of you, right, just with their belief, that's a very special thing. And the only people that wish Customato hadn't done what he did are probably Mike's opponents. Because Mike would have fights that were so damn fast. You can see it even in the video, even in some of the amateur fights that were actually on video. You can see in the opponent where they were like, does he have a hammer? What is he doing? That really hurt. No. And then Mike gets older. Mike becomes world champion. Youngest world champion, right? In there with a boxer with real experience, who's also a special fighter, right? But Mike hits him in a way that maybe he's never been hit before. And if you go back and you watch the video of this knockout, I shouldn't laugh, but Mike didn't just knock this dude out. Like, he didn't knock him out cold, right? This dude gets knocked down again, and he's trying to get up, and you can tell that his body is like, dog, we done. Don't. No. You know, like when you're in a bar fight and your buddies hold you back, that was that guy's whole body. Like, you can even hear the announcer be like, oh, he's fighting to get up, but his body won't let him, because his body is like, parts of him that didn't get hit. This dude got hit in his head and the chin, and even his feet and his knees and his hips were like, look, if you ever want to speak to us again, Don't stack us up on top of each other right now. You need to sit down. And then Mike Tyson becomes world champion. He becomes everything that Custom Model thought he could be. He becomes everything that he knew he was, right? It's a beautiful moment. And then it's important when you think of Mike Tyson to understand that Mike Tyson is America. A lot of Mike Tyson's story is how America works, right? There are parts of this country that if you travel to, you'll think you're in another country for how poor they are, how broken, the conditions that people are living in. You know, it looks like the developing world in some parts of America, and we don't like to talk about it. We especially don't like to take care of those people because it means we have to really look at ourselves to do it. But there are people that come out of those conditions that build themselves up into something that no one else could have imagined based on where they started, right? Mike Tyson is just like America. Mike Tyson is fierce, fearsome, you know, incredibly violent. People in other countries look at America the way that we look at Mike Tyson. Genuinely, if you travel, and I mean really travel, I'm not talking about just go to the tourist spots and the places that are popular to go. If you really travel and you know world history and you go to a place and you ask them about America, right? A country that we've attacked before, you know? They look at us like we have a tattoo on our face. Mike Tyson builds himself up, and he doesn't just get the world championship. He has some very, very impressive fights where you can average his whole fight time out to like maybe a round and a half. He's beating people so fast it's actually upsetting the crowd. I know people who paid a lot of money to go to a Mike Tyson fight and went in the bathroom at the wrong time. Sit there the whole fight card holding it, and then you're like, oh, he's only walking out, I got a second. And then from the bathroom you hear, oh. You're like, oh no. I mean, then Mike goes down a downward spiral. He loses Custom Model. He loses this person that was a mentor, that was a friend, you know? And he tries to find his way, but he's still very young. People forget how young he was when he was Mike, when he was Iron Mike, and he was fearless and he was undefeated, and starts, you know, getting lost in it. And he'll tell you that. He's talked about that. He got lost, right? Goes to jail at one point. Like, this dude is on a dark path, you know? And even, I mean, this is attributed to Mike Tyson. I don't know if he actually said it like this, but he was like, I was a baby. And you gave me millions of dollars to punch people in the face. And you didn't think this was going to go off the rails somehow? Like, you didn't think that this was a bad idea, maybe? No. That's who's fighting. This guy who's relentless, you know? So much fear. Imagine you're in the ring with Mike Tyson and he won't stop staring. Just the face-off, just watching the face-off, you would see it in his eyes. He's like, I would very much like to hurt someone today. And legally, it's you. And he was fast, and his movements were jerky, but they were quick, and they clearly hurt, because some very big men did not get up. He would hit people so hard sometimes that you'd be like, I think that guy's dead. And then he'd twitch, you'd be like, he's all right. That's who's fighting. And then you have Jake Paul. One thing people need to understand about Jake Paul, if you don't, he's very much, we are in Jake Paul's time. Whether we like it when I say that or not, he's having his Mike Tyson moments right now. World famous around the world. People tune in from around the world. They watch his fights. They watch his YouTube videos. This dude is a true bona fide star, right? And we can argue about if he's as popular as Mike was back then and why the internet is different, but he is very popular. And he loved boxing. He feels like boxing saved him. That's something similar that he has with Mike, because this kid, he got a camera from his dad, him and his brother, when they were young, and it was to film themselves while they were doing football so that they could improve, right? Which I don't know how that works. I don't play enough football. Like, if I did that and tried to tape myself playing football to improve, I think I would just be like, this is where I got hit, and this is when I hit the ground. I think that's all I did. I don't know if, was that right? Is that how you do it? And so him and his brother start making videos, like little YouTube videos, whatever. They're putting them online. They're getting some looks every now and again. But then Vine came out, and if you don't know what Vine is like TikTok granddaddy. And they start making Vines, and they get very popular almost overnight. They are huge on Vine. Everybody thinks they're funny, and they love to follow them. They want to know what they're doing next. They're getting all this money, endorsements, everything. At one point, Jake Paul is on the Disney Channel. I don't really know what he was doing, but it was quick. And then they start posting on YouTube, and they start getting millions of subscribers on YouTube. These kids are bona fide popular, and they understand something that maybe the rest of us just don't, and that's why they are where they are. They understand internet culture. They understand marketing and business. They understand the way that the world is turning, right? And it's the age of the influencer, right? And a lot of people want to be influencers. Some people don't want to be. You can accidentally become famous, and that's a terrifying thing. You become famous in a way that you really didn't mean to, You're just living your life. But somebody puts a cell phone on you, or you don't know you're in someone's shot, and you trip weird, and you go, and now you're, like that's who you are as a guy. And then people see you in the world, and they're like, hey, we love you, dude, we love, that's our favorite. Man, keep killing it, dog, keep killing it. But before you know it, just one thing, just one meme, just one moment catapults you to this level of fame that no person can be prepared for. Whether you're Mike Tyson in the 80s or you're Jake Paul now, people don't understand that, like, fame that you weren't even trying to get can mess with your mind, right? And so Jake Paul was on a dark path as well. He was probably headed for a bad place, and then he started boxing, and he loved it. And boxing, to a degree, saved him. And so he's out here boxing, And at first he starts fighting like YouTubers, like fellow YouTubers, because that garners attention. Because sometimes you see two people who don't like each other, and you're like, man, it would be kind of funny if they fought. And this is the thing about us. We as people love a fight. Whether we like to admit that about ourselves or not, we love a fight. I've been walking down the street and seeing kids on the park sinking threes from far away, Steph Curry level, right? And I'm like impressed, and I maybe watch him do two more, and then I'm like, he's getting it in. He'll be fine. But if I see a fight in the park, I stop. Because I'm wondering, But no, we're in this age where I think people sometimes want to be famous more than they want to do something. And that's where you get some of these things, some of these imitators of Jake Paul, of Logan Paul, and stuff like that. There was a kid whose story, like, it blew my mind. Basically, there was this kid doing these pranks, and they were like barely pranks. It was just being obnoxious. It was just being like horrible to people and messing with people to try to get a reaction out of them. Because not only are we the new, like, influencers, everyone, all of us, all the time, it could happen to any one of us, but because of how people become influencers, because of how people get popular, they are our paparazzi now. You're just living your life, but now you're in someone's video, and they're trying to make you act a certain way. That's not what we signed up for, Should at least be rich to have that happen. And so this kid was making this video, and he was messing with this guy in the mall, and he was following him around. And he was just like, not just being annoying. He seemed like to also be intimidating him a little bit. And he was really following him, trying to get him to answer some question or something. And finally, this little guy, he's like a very small guy, and he did not look well, right? He finally goes, stop. stop, stop. And then he pulled out a gun and shot him. And I am praying that's not him. This dude pulls out a gun and he shot him. There's this loud bang in the mall and people start screaming and running and everything. But from the vantage point of like the person who, because he posted it himself, the kid, the influencer who's making the prank video, posts the thing and he's coming at him and the guy's like, stop, 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 bang. And then as soon as you hear the bang, this kid, the prankster goes, oh! And to be fair, there's no cool way to get shot. But he goes, "Dow!" and he hits the ground, and that guy walks off, and obviously he gets arrested and everything. They explain the situation. I believe he got released. And then this kid goes to the hospital. He's fine, right? He's fine. He got shot in the side, and he's fine. But when they ask him about it, they ask him how he feels about the fact that this thing happened. Like, is it change how he's going to make content? He got more followers from it happening because it got on the news and people wanted to see the kid that got shot and they wanted to see the other stuff that he did. So he did get more popular, right? And they wondered how he felt towards the gunman. This guy shot you and you were being annoying, but did you deserve to be shot, right? And then this kid sitting in his hospital bed, his dad, by the way, is furious. His dad is like, there are people saying my son deserved to be shot. My son's just a kid, right? And this kid sitting in his hospital bed, when he's asked these questions, goes, it is what it is, dog. Like, which I can't tell, is that a good attitude about it? But it lets me know it's not just a few people. It's not just a few individuals. We're in an age, and it's an age of if I can be popular, maybe I can be safe, maybe I can be liked, maybe I can be something, whatever it is. But it's apparently worth being shot over for some people. And make no mistake, Jake Paul is America. I don't know how it feels to have me say that, but Jake Paul is America. A lot of what America embodies is what Jake Paul is, right? America is business, usually business first. We can worry about being a country later. It's business, and it's fame, and it's money, and it's influence, right? You go to some of these backdoor meetings that some of these world leaders have when America convinces them to do something. We don't know how they do it. Maybe it's with money. Maybe it's with other things. Maybe they're like, hey, look, we'd hate for something to happen to your whole island. Influence. See what I mean? And so now you have these two boxing, and people don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, there are people that want Mike Tyson to hurt Jake Paul very badly. And then there are people who just want to see a fight. They just want to see what it would look like. You know what I mean? They just want to see what it would look like if, like, that guy from The Breakfast Club fought Timothy Chalamet. Like, just... They just want to see two generations go at it. You know? Because let's be honest, it's an odd fight. You know, Jake Paul has fought former MMA fighters. He's fought former NBA players. He's fought YouTubers. He's fought one established boxer, maybe two pro boxers that I know of, right? Because I don't know his entire record. But he said that the thing that made him do this, the thing that made him push for it and create it, was he did some ayahuasca. And when he did the ayahuasca, he said he saw himself fighting Mike Tyson. And if I'm being honest, taking ayahuasca and seeing yourself fighting Mike Tyson sounds like something Mike Tyson would say doing ayahuasca. Like, I could more clearly see Mike Tyson doing ayahuasca, and he's like, I saw myself fighting Jake Paul. I don't know, man. I had to think to myself, you know, if I did ayahuasca and I saw myself fighting Mike Tyson, I'd probably have to sit back and be like, maybe heroin's the answer. Like, I don't know. This ayahuasca is not it for me. No, thank you. You know? And so, as soon as he had that vision, though, he put it into motion. And that's the marketer, that's the businessman, that's the promoter in Jake Paul. He saw this thing and he had to create it. That's also America, by the way. You go to other countries and you're like, oh, I have this big dream of doing this thing. A lot of countries are set in their ways, right? America is properly crazy. We'll let you do anything, fundamentally. And so now they have a press conference. They're together, and Jake Paul's very good at being the heel, you know what I mean? But it's hard to be the heel when you're fighting Mike Tyson. Like, people might be booing you, but he's saying truly upsetting things. Mike Tyson was in a press conference one time, and he was like, look, all I want is for his kids to be watching us fight and see me beat them so bad that they're like, Daddy, no. Hearing Mike Tyson quotes out loud genuinely makes me want to learn Tai Chi. So in case I ever come across Mike Tyson, I can look like I'm about to fight him while also backing up. Like, and some people think that the fight's just a spectacle. Some people think it's a real fight. There are kids who think Jake Paul's got to beat Mike Tyson, right? Jake Paul's a great boxer. Let's see it happen. I'm so excited to see Jake Paul whoop this guy. There really are both sides to this thing. And it's going to be on Netflix, which who knows if that's a mistake. Do you know what I mean? Who knows if they fight and then one of them dies and we're just sitting there like, so... are we accomplices, or just sitting there, stoic, don't know what to do next, and Netflix is like, are you still watching? Not now, man. You know? And it's a gamble as well. It's a gamble. Is one of the biggest gambles we've seen, because Mike Tyson is, to some degree, putting his legacy on the line. He's one of the most fierce fighters that's ever lived. People talk about Ali and Tyson. When they talk about boxing, they don't really know anything about it. You know those names. And then Jake Paul's putting something on the line, too. It's like, I had this idea, I had this dream of fighting Mike Tyson, and maybe I'm just out of my mind and I'm going to be hurt very badly. And Netflix is putting something on the line because it's like, will people watch? Will someone die? It's a genuine gamble. And if America is anything, it's a proper gamble. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we do. I don't know. I admire an aspect of what Jake is doing, because Jake loves boxing. And no one will probably ever give him credit for it, but he is revitalizing a part of boxing. People talk about boxing a little bit more now because of the popularity that he brings in, the new kids that he brings in, and he's putting himself on the line because he loves boxing. And that, to me, is wild. Like, I love hip-hop, but I wouldn't try to battle Kendrick Lamar. Like, I don't know if you've been following this. Maybe not. I just realized how white this room is. I mean, it's pop culture. You probably heard about it. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching this whole Drake and Kendrick. My. What a time to be alive. Okay. All right, so Drake and Kendrick, they are rappers, sir. They're rappers. Okay, I want to make sure everybody, and I'm not acting like I know. You might bump Kendrick all the time. You might be a big Pimp a Butterfly fan. You know, I'm just checking. So, Drake and Kendrick's relationship actually goes back way further than people realize, because Drake brought Kendrick with him on tour when Kendrick was like just starting to pop, but Drake was already a big deal, right? And it seemed like they were cool. You see these old interviews, they're in pictures together, they have such nice things to say about each other, and then along the line, something changed. Something happened. And we don't know what that thing is really, but they both started to kind of like go at each other in small ways. And some people take it all the way back to the Control verse. Kendrick did a verse in a song on, it was actually a Big Sean song. Big Sean is a rapper, sir. All of these are just names, and I want to make sure that we're all up to speed. So he did a verse on a Big Sean song called Control, but it blew up so much it became Kendrick's verse. It became the Control verse, which is crazy. And in that verse, he went at everybody. He called people out by name, you know? And he said, I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you. I'm trying to make sure that your fans don't even love you anymore. They love me so much. I'm coming for the crown. I'm coming for everything, right? And just about everybody thought that it was actually pretty dope. It was actually like, okay, hip-hop as a sport. Like hip-hop as, you know, a fun thing, a contest to see who's actually the best. Because everybody calls themselves the best on every song. Eventually, someone has to be the best. You know, every rapper believes that they're the best, and they say so in their music. A lot like how one city will have several First Baptist churches. When you look around, you're like, one of y'all has to actually be first, right? How can y'all even all claim to be first? This is confusing. You know? And so he releases the Control verse. Now, this is something, maybe this is where it started. It's where a lot of people say it started, but maybe it was something else. But Drake seemed to take some sort of issue with the love that Kendrick was getting for that verse, with him being called out, even though he's someone that helped, you know, Kendrick out in the beginning. But even in interviews, Kendrick explained himself. He said, like, this is a contest to see who's the best. It's all love, right? But Drake has, I'm trying to be fair. Drake has a lot of feelings, and you can tell because he has a lot of albums. And there are feelings on every one of those albums. And some people don't have several albums worth of feelings. Some people only have 4 or 5 albums worth of feelings, you know? And some people decide when to let it out, and he just lets it out on a pretty tight schedule, a pretty regimented schedule of release to let out all of his feelings, you know? And he said, he's like, I just didn't like it. It didn't feel sincere. I just didn't vibe with the whole thing. Because then I saw him later, and he was all nice to me. Yeah. He said in his interview, it was all love. It's just a contest. And And then from there, they had like a weirdness. And then there's like little things. You can listen to certain songs where Drake seems to be like digging right at Kendrick, but in a way where you have to really look at it and wonder, right? Not saying his name. And then Kendrick even does a little bit of the same. But even after a little bit of this had kicked off, they still worked together one or two more times, right? Because Drake was on Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick's album, and Kendrick was on Take Care. So there's still at least a professional relationship there to some degree, right? Fast forward a few years and Drake's really big. And when I say really big, he's like what Bad Bunny is now, he was back then, like top in the world, right? Everybody wanted to be Drake. Everybody wanted to sing a little bit of Drake. He was #1 on Spotify. Every time he released, it was a big deal. And so some people, admittedly, were very jealous of Drake. You know, there were people who started to go at Drake a little bit. And Drake is a good writer. He may have writers that he works with. He may have... But he's also good. It's like when he's making music, everyone in the room is good. That's... I'm trying to give him his I'm trying to be objective, and y'all are trying to lean me into a way that's... But he's good, and so, you know, Meek Mill is a rapper. Sorry, Meek Mill... Because that one wasn't a name. I just want to make sure that at no point you don't think that this is like punctuation or anything. Because the names are going to get weirder as I go, right? Okay. Meek Mill came at Drake, and Drake really, truly, even if you hate Drake, Drake destroyed Meek Mill. He destroyed Meek Mill so bad that Meek Mill had to go back to jail just to level out some of that street cred. Because if you remember, Meek Mill went back to jail for a while on like this weird aspect of probation that they even tried to get changed as a law. So then Meek Mill became this like face of changing incarceration and changing the criminal justice system, everything, because he had to do something else for a little while because Drake really ate him up. All right. And so more time passes, and there's still not much between Kendrick and Drake in this moment, right? And then Drake gets into it. And I want to be clear, because a lot of people sometimes feel bad for Drake in a way that I want to be clear. He does start a lot of this stuff. He does like have a little thing in a song that implies that your wife is unfaithful, and then when you come at him directly, he's like, what's with all the hate? I'm all love. It's like, no. The best way I can describe it is that Drake kind of fights like a cat. And some rappers fight like dogs. And so, you know, he'll do a little paw and he'll be like, what's the issue? And so Drake went at Pusha T, which was a true mistake. This is the thing about people like Pusha T, right? You don't want to mess with anyone who's actually had a hard life. You know, like, you know, Drake grew up in Canada, grew up with, like, it's just, this is my thing. A lot of people come at Drake for, you know, they come in at a way I don't like. They come at him in this like colorism way where he's like, you're not really black because you're half white. I don't roll with any of that. I just truly think, but you see what I'm talking about. I'm not, y'all are trying to get me to do something I'm not doing. I'm just saying it's very hard for a rapper to seem hard, right? When they have not been through what other rappers have been through. Like, it's hard to go hard when everybody knows you had health care. Because I'm not saying there aren't hardened criminals in Canada. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that if somebody knows that anytime you were sick, you could call a doctor, it just takes a little bit of the wind out of the sails of like, I'll kill you. It's like,
Yeah, but if I hurt you, you go to a doctor immediately. Like. So anyway, Kendrick is still off doing his thing, releasing amazing music, but Drake gets into it with Pusha T, which was a mistake because he told Pusha T, he's like, I got more money than you, I got more women than you, I'm more famous than you'll ever be. And then Pusha T said, you have a son. He released the fact that Drake had a son, which people didn't know, on a track that's cover was Drake in blackface. Everything about what Pusha T did to Drake is why you don't get involved with people like Pusha T. You're like, you know, a part of me felt bad for Drake. Drake was probably like John at the mouth and everything and didn't know he'd do research. It's like, you know, Drake is sitting there like, guys, I thought we were rhyming. I thought we were making music. What is this? And so anyway, now Drake perceivably takes care of his son. And, you know, whatever. And so fast forward some more, and you would think that Drake had sort of learned his lesson of like, man, I shouldn't throw stones when I might have a lot of kids. And for his part, I will say this, for his part, every time somebody comes at Drake, he does come at them pretty hard, pretty heavy. And he does release music that his fans love, and there are a lot of his fans. I'm saying that's something that I thought about going into this thing, where I was like, he always does really try to like give you something, but what he gives is twofold. Drake is usually trying to give you that sort of earworm, trying to give you that thing that takes you to a place beyond the beef. So now people will still play back to back and songs that were responses to beefs he's had in the past, just as songs to enjoy, you know? And so this year, Drake and J. Cole started, you know, they started doing appearances together. Like J. Cole would pop up at Drake's concert. And J. Cole is also someone who I genuinely believe is one of the most talented, phenomenal, musically inclined artists that I've encountered. I really enjoy his music. I don't know him as a person, and I think he's amazing, right? So he is on a couple of Drake songs after they appeared together last year, and it made me listen to those songs. I was like, oh, J. Cole, okay, you know, because I admittedly I hadn't listened to Drake in a long time because I only have a certain amount of feelings. I feel like I got pretty far. I feel like I listened to several albums, and then at a certain point, I was like, I feel grown, like. You know? And anyway, they do a song together, and then they do a song called First Person Shooter. And in First Person Shooter, they're going back and forth about how great the era is and how great they are. And First Person Shooter is a fantastic song, right? And then J. Cole in the song says, like, you'll forgive me if I'm getting it wrong, but he says, maybe something like we're the top who, you know, top 2, 3, okay. And then he was like, is it Kendrick, is it Aubrey, or me? Because we're the big 3, like we started the league. But right now I feel like Muhammad Ali, right? And I guess Kendrick heard that and took it as a personal affront. I wouldn't have felt that, like, if 2 people were like, man, we're the best ever, and Josh is great too, and I wasn't even there, I would be like, oh, thanks. but I'm not built like Kendrick. You know? And so then later we would also find out that apparently Drake tried to get Kendrick on that track. So he knew it was coming up and he didn't want any part of it. And then I guess he hated that he was mentioned. So then Metro Boomin and Future are rappers that... Because that could have been a label name. I'm not making fun of you at all. I'm just making sure everybody is up to speed and you're right in front of me. That's all that's happening, right? So Metro Boomin and Future, you know, they release an album called We Don't Trust You, and on it is a track called Like That. Now, Like That is where Kendrick does essentially the control effect on this song. He does a verse that really made me forget it was a song. I don't know what anyone else said on the song, right? And on the song, he says, "Fuck the big three, it's just big me," right? Which is also, hey, I've always said I want to be the best. I've said it from day one. As soon as people started interviewing me, I said I want to be the best. As soon as people started listening to my music, I said I wanted to be the best. This is not out of character for me. This is the same thing I did 10 years ago, right? So just for me, if it were me, if I was one of them, if I was Drake and I heard "fuck the big three, it's just big me," I also wouldn't take it as a personal affront. Because there were other things in the song where he came at Drake specifically. He didn't really have much for J. Cole. And yeah, it just sat for a while. It sat, and everybody was like, ooh, what are Drake and Cole gonna do? And then Cole was actually, I think, the first one to release. He released this song that he's since taken down called 7 Minute Drill, and he went at Kendrick in the song. And then he took it down, and a lot of people clowned him for it, but it's something that even, I'm not being a revisionist here. I said this when it happened. I was like, I respect the fact that he took it down. Because it's not something he really wanted to do. And the internet is all gas, no brakes. The internet will get you to mess up your life. Do you know what I mean? People you don't know are like, I wouldn't take that if I was you. What you gonna do? Huh? Do something, huh? Huh? People who are very safe at home, I wouldn't, if I was you, ooh, I'd go at his neck. I'd eat him alive if I was you. Do something, Jermaine, do it. Do it. And so he took it down, and he even said, he's like, I didn't feel like doing it, so it's not even good. I kind of just went at him a little bit, and it's true. In the song, he doesn't even say anything that bad. He's just like, one of your albums was boring. I won't even say which one. And then he took it down because he said, I don't know, this felt corny. And I respected the hell out of that. Very few men, grown men, famous men, powerful men, very few ever apologize. Very few ever apologize without being made to, with the threat of losing their money, losing their fame, losing something. Very few men. So I respect that. And people clowned him to no end. But then the actual beef between Drake and Kendrick started. And that was a lot. Because Drake released a song called Push-Ups, and he didn't just go at Kendrick. He went at a bunch of people and, implied that Kendrick's wife was unfaithful, that his son might not be his and everything. And people are like, ooh, what's Kendrick going to do? What's going to happen, right? And then, he releases another song, and this song is AI. This song is Drake with the late Tupac and Snoop Dogg, and it's going at Kendrick. And some people had their feelings about that. But then, oof. On a random morning, I was, it was right about the time I was supposed to say my prayers anyway. You know your morning prayers? Your thank your God for waking me up this morning, right? And Kendrick dropped a song called Euphoria. And I think when it happened, a lot of people, including me, was like, oh, this is an actual rap beef now in the way that we had in the 90s. These dudes do not like each other. And Kendrick says he hates him in the song. He says, I hate you. He said it a lot. He said, I hate you a lot. He did artistically, but he was like, ooh, I hate you. Ooh. ooh, I hate you, ooh, right? And, woof. It was a lot, right? And then, Drake released, actually, no, Kendrick released one. He released so many, I actually lost count. So then he released a song that I didn't even get to fully digest because he released, and then Drake released his response. And this was like what Drake had been waiting for. This was like all these, I mean, in my opinion, all these years of like, I was nice to you, and then you came at everybody, including me, and all I'm doing is writing my feelings down in albums and making money. And why, I just want to be number one. I just want to be the best with feelings. I want to be the best. And so he just took everything that he had, and he put it in a song called Family Matters, right? And 20 minutes later, Kendrick released a song called Meet the Grams, which is a real play off Family Matters. And he had said in 616 before, he was like, have you ever thought about the fact that like people in your camp are working for me, that everyone hates you so much they feed me information about you, and that there's no way that you're going to win this because I write so many songs, because all I do is hang out with my wife and my kids and I write, right? This is all that I do. I enjoy this. This is my favorite thing to do, is just sit at home and hate you and write songs about you and how much I hate you, so I can go forever. This will never be over. We can chill. We can just go back and forth, and I'll release 20 for every one that you release. You keep saying that's a 1v20, and it is. It's one of you, and it's 20 songs of me every single day until the both of us die. This is old black man hate. You got to understand. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen with people under 60 almost ever. This is old. This is old. We knew each other during the civil rights movement hate that he brought to this battle. And Drake was like, guys, I thought we were rhyming. And in Meet the Grams, you know, he laid it down. He started the song by talking to Drake's son. Talking to Drake's son, being like, I'm sorry that's your father. Genuinely, I'm sorry that's your father, because I can tell he's not raising you well, because I can tell he's not living a good life and he's not a decent man, okay? And so if you don't understand this right now because you're 6, play it back when you're 18, okay? He said lots of things. He said things that are illegal. He said Drake was doing things that, you can listen to it. Woof. He even had this effect in the song. At the end of the song, when he's like, you lie, he called him a liar several times, and he's like, you lied. I was like, oh, that's too much. And he tells him about himself. He talks to his son, he talks to his dad, he talks to his mom, and then he talks to him directly, right? He also talks to, potentially, a daughter that Drake is not taking care of. Which I was listening to it, I was like, not again. I feel like once they find the first kid, you gotta just get all the kids. You gotta just have a whole Graham family, just so you know where everybody is. You know? And people go back and forth. Does he have a daughter? Does he not have a daughter? Some people think they've even found the daughter, everything like that. And I don't know. I mean, it's really bad. It's so bad. And honestly, I never wanted it to get to a bad place. This is something, I'll talk about this more in the future and everything, but I have a deep love, but a strange relationship with hip hop, because if everything is in music, it's all good. It's when things leave music that things get bad, you know? And so as much as I joke about Drake and I like Kendrick and I've liked some of Drake's songs, I don't actually want them to do anything to each other. You know what I mean? Now, if what Kendrick is saying about Drake is true, we should lock Drake up. We should lock Drake up. And if what Drake is saying about Kendrick is true, we should lock Kendrick up, all right? Because, you know, it's a rap battle, two dudes that hate each other. Maybe they're lying, who knows? But I'm just saying, this thing, I didn't want to see anything bad happen to either one of them. But when Meet the Grams got released, I think
I don't know what Drake thinks, and I don't know what his life is like, especially right now. But I think back to those battles and those beefs in the 90s, and I wonder if Drake wasn't like, I'd like to be shot, please. Like if you could just plug me one time, and then we can smooth the thing over. Because then, as if Meet the Grams wasn't enough, Kendrick released a song called Not Like Us, which is the catchiest way to call somebody a I've ever heard in my life. You be dancing to it forgetting what the song is about. Like, you know. And then Drake released The Heart Part 6. And I think that's when he lost. I think... Because in The Heart Part 6, he's like, this was all part of my plan. We fed you information about me for you to say, so everything that you said is wrong. And don't you feel dumb now that I tricked you? And it just kind of felt like, you know like what a kid, okay, you know like when you play rock, paper, scissors, and you do rock, and the other kid does scissors, and you're like, and they're like, no, actually, these are lasers. Ba-pow, 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 ba-pow. Because I was like, Drake, if it was part of your plan to feed Kendrick information about you for him to rap about very well, by the way, like even if those are lies, they do sound good and they sound very true. Even if you fed him all this information about you to rap about to then look dumb when it was wrong, why'd you send him that stuff? That's the worst stuff you could send somebody. Hey, tell him this thing about me that's not true but was true once, and tell him I'm a thing that no one wants to be. So now that it's over, because I do hope it's over, I feel like Drake should just release some songs about some feelings.
Mira,